Hello teacher, in this video I'm going to explain my lesson plan to teach vocabulary. In my case, I choose the topic of the alphabet. Why? Because for me, the alphabet is one of the most easiest topics to teach vocabulary. Why? Because we can use all the alphabet from A to Z to teach vocabulary, to teach a new vocabulary to our students. And this time I choose 7th grade because 7th grade in most of the school it's the first year that they take the subject of English, and I think they need a lot of vocabulary to take in the easy way the subject. Okay, in the first activity that is warm up, I have the teacher show flashcard. The teacher in this case will show flashcard about animals or objects. Can be fruits. For example, I show the letter A and the students tell me apple. Or it can be they tell me a word in Spanish and I will tell the same word in English. In that way, my students can start with a good interaction between me and them. And so I will have a very easy response to answer what I'm asking for them. In the activity of the student, I have the student will answer to the teacher the different animals and objects, as I said, can be fruits too. And the resource is a flashcards for this activity. In the development, I have teacher show other flashcard with picture of animal and objects of the house. In this activity, I mean objects of the house because it's the most common that they have something with the start with the letter in their home. For example, with letter B, they can have a ball. With letter T, a they can have a TV. So I said the objects of the house because I think is the most easy way to relation between something that they have in their home. Or if they don't have that, because I know the problem of our country, I can show them the word. I can show them new vocabulary. As I said here, a student will try to pronounce the word in flashcard. Also, to this flashcard, for example, I will have the image of a TV, but I will not say TV, say the complete word that will be television. And without saying the pronunciation, my student will try to pronounce it by themselves. So the next activity is teacher show the pronunciation of the words in audio and the student will repeat at the second time. The students will listen the pronounce of the audio and after repeat. In this activity, I will show, for example, I can use Google Translate to they hear a good pronunciation. I know it's not the best way, but I can do it if I don't have a lot of resources. So I will put the pronunciation of apple, for example, and they will hear in a speaker and they will get the pronunciation. Then in the second time, they will repeat after the recording. And the last activity for development, teacher write a short conversation using some of the new vocabulary after shows the pronunciation. The teacher, as I said, will write a short conversation. It can be a really short conversation just between two people talking about their day or their last week but using a new vocabulary. And the student will write in their notebook the activity. And the resources we got here, the flashcard, markets, blackboard, and notebooks. For the next activity that is practice, I have teacher give an extra page of material. In this case, I will give to my students a page with 50 words from A to Z about a new vocabulary. I will print it obviously and I give him. And the student will need to study that page that I gave to them to learn new vocabulary because we will use that page in all the semester. The next activity is teachers show the translate and the pronunciation of the vocabulary print. As I said, I will get that translate. It can be in the same page, yes. It can be the word in English, the word in Spanish, in the way that we can pronunciate. We can use that. And the first thing that they are going to do with the page is pronunciate all the words, and that will be a score for them. In the last activity to practice it, get instruction to create a sentence. They will going to create a sentence as I wrote here. A short sentence. Just I want to know they are using the new vocabulary that I already gave to them. The first activity to assessment is give an example of conversation in the blackboard, and the students are going to write the example and repeat after the teacher. Why a conversation? Because as I said in the previous activity to create a short sentence, now in a conversation we got a big step to learn in more easy and to learn more. For this, I was working with a sentence and I worked with a conversation. The teacher gives instructions to create a short conversation in pairs. Why in pairs? Because if one student work alone and they don't get the idea of the topic, they will feel like a little scared. It can be scared or afraid, and they can say, "No, I cannot do that. I cannot do this." And if they work in pairs, they can, for example, if one student get idea and the other no, they will work because one student know what they have to do and the other no. For this, I really like to work in pairs with my students, and the students will create a short conversation in pairs using the new vocabulary. It's very necessary to my students to use the new vocabulary. Why? Because it's the topic, vocabulary using the alphabet. It's very simple, and I want to make all my students work. And to close or a wrap up, the teacher asks to volunteer to read the conversation that or choose a victim. The conversation that they did in the previous activity in pairs, and the student will have to answer me about the conversation they already did, or I will choose a victim. And this is my lesson plan, teacher, to use to teach vocabulary, I mean, and that's it.